Hey everybody, how's it going? Putting together a quick update video on the Gerber Pledge pocket knife. I did one a couple months ago when I first got it, and there's still not a whole lot out on this knife yet, so I figured since I had it, I would do a quick update. Obviously there's no way of you knowing if this is the same knife or if I got a new one or whatever, but it's definitely the same knife. I guess you just gotta trust me. I've packed it every day since I opened it on video with you guys, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it. The lighting's not the best in this room, so it's not the greatest video in the world, but regardless, just kind of talk about the clip and the way the blade held up. And I haven't sharpened it yet since I opened it, just been using it, and I'm going to do a paper cut test and then wrap it up quick. Anyways, the blade, it's still really strong. I mean, you could tighten it up right there if you wanted to. And the thumb stud held. It's got little screws on it itself. The clip right there, you could adjust it, and it did kind of loosen up a little bit. And you can't really see. Yeah, there you go. See, it's at the top now, and then moves down to the middle right there. So just kind of loosened up a little bit. I think what happened is the screw holes, you can kind of see on the back of the knife, they might have warped out a little bit, pulling it in and out of my pocket all this time. I think I've had it for 2 months, maybe since the first video. A little bit of the color kind of wore off of the clip from pulling it out so much. But that's the only real problem, is that this loosened up a tiny bit. But it doesn't really affect it. Just, I mean, you could fix it probably. I never tried to tighten it, like I said. I just used it as is. And yeah, the blade, still no bend in that. Thumb stud holds, and that didn't loosen up. And the clip, I mean, the knife itself folds in good and holds. It's a good solid on the latch down here. So yeah, it's worked good. I've used it for all kinds of things. Whittling sticks. I gutted some fish with it on a couple fishing trips. I know it's not the best because it's a super pointy end, but kind of getting it in there and working up like that, it did a pretty good job. I just wanted to use it. Like I said, it was 20-something bucks maybe for a kit with a couple other knives. Something like this, you get a couple things in there, but I'll paper cut it real quick, or cut paper with it real quick. I have not sharpened it, so it might not even cut through, but if you remember on the first video, it did good. So yeah, it's completely original, and it is hard to sharpen these ones from what I have heard. They don't take a new sharpening very good. Kind of what you get is how they stay. I mean, you can obviously sharpen a knife, but since it is kind of a cheaper everyday carry pocket knife setup, it's not the greatest for resharpening, but we'll just see how it held after a couple months of using regular old printer paper. Well, I mean, it went right through like nothing, but you can see it was kind of more of a, it had a little bit more of a tear. Still pretty clean for being completely unsharpened. And yeah, like I said, there's no way you guys knowing. That one was a little more difficult, but yeah, there's no way you knowing if I didn't sharpen it, but I wouldn't really lie, so it's kind of up to you to trust me. But yeah, it's held its edge, give or take, because the first time I cut through with this, it was just nothing. But for 2 months of using this thing all the time, it's just a pocket knife. I didn't beat it around or hit rocks with it. It just held up its edge like it's supposed to. I mean, like I said, it was a razor at first, and now it's kind of having difficulties where the paper's bent now, and now it's not cutting, now that I talked it up. But I don't know, it's working still, and it's got a decent edge left. I gotta almost pull it a little bit. But regardless, the very first cut, pretty clean for a couple months of use, and not bad altogether. You can't beat 15-20 bucks. Really, if you're going to beat something around and use it, this is worth it to me. It still cuts paper after a couple months, still holds up. The only thing wrong is the clip kind of loosened up. That could just be mine. Anyways, that's a quick review. No sharpen. Now I'm going to sharpen it just to get it a little better, but it did its job. It still cut paper, which is good enough, I guess. After 2 months, and I did it again. Got a decent cut until it ripped. But yeah, regardless, pretty cool knife, pretty affordable. And you get what you pay for. It's 20 bucks, and it held up, and it did a good job, so you can't complain, in my opinion. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.